Hello, fashion bosses. How are you doing? All right. So I made this IGBO Madam blouse, and I thought I could share a few tips on how I drafted the pattern with you. Okay, knowing what to add and what to subtract, when drafting or when cutting this IGBO Madam's blouse is very important. Okay, so I thought I should, share this idea with you. I will also drop a video on how I made this structured sleeve. But for this class, is all about this blouse. All right, let us start. Hello, fashion bosses. How are you doing today? Welcome back to another interesting edition with Fashion Boss Innovations Academy. My name is Faith Abraham, Creative Director of Fashion Boss Innovations Academy. In today's class, we are going to be showing all of us, okay, myself inclusive, how to make the IGBO Madam blouse using this Indian lace. Okay, so this is the wrapper for it. This is the wrapper for it. This is the net, which is the blouse. Okay, sometimes it's enough, sometimes it's not enough, depending on the size of the person you're making the blouse for. This is the lining we are going to be using for it. We are going to be drafting a pattern and then transfer it into our fabric. Okay, this is the placement. This is the part that we are going to trim out and then use it to embellish the front parts of our blouse. So this very george is called placement. This very one, the blouse part, is an Indian george, but this net, provided for the blouse, is called placement. Okay, because you're going to be using your soldering iron, okay, to trim out this placement and then use it to embellish your blouse when it is ready. Okay, but if you don't have a soldering iron, of course you can use your scissors and neatly trim this off. Before I got a soldering iron, I was using scissors and it usually comes out beautifully well for me. The soldering iron, you also have to learn how to use it, because if you do not know how to use it, you can actually damage your pattern. Okay, so make sure that you've gained mastery on how to use your soldering iron before using it on important fabric. Okay, hope that helps someone out there. All right, so if you are a new subscriber, if you are a returning subscriber on this channel, I want to say a very big thank you. Like I always say, without you there is no fashion boss. And if you are new on this channel, please kindly consider subscribing, and if you've done so, tap on the bell so you get notified each time we drop tutorials on this channel. Yeah, on this channel we drop sewing tutorials and then headwear tutorials such as auto gilets, turbans, hats making, fascinators, bead making, anything fashion. Okay, anything you can use to adorn your body, and then we drop explicit tutorials. So you are on the right channel. Right about now, we are going to go straight to drafting our pattern for the IGBO Madam blouse. All right, so here is the pattern paper for our drafting. Okay, all right, so I've gone ahead to roll my lines. Hope you can see this properly. Okay, so I'll just label them. This is a starting line, this is a bust point, this is a under bust line, this is a waistline. Okay, this is a hip line for the blouse, which of course is also the length of the blouse. Okay, blouse length, and then this is allowance. Okay, we'll first of all take our dart. Our dart is our bust span is 8 inches divided by 2. We are going to have 4, and then plus 0.5 inch seam allowance. That makes it a total of 4.5. Okay, so we are doing a princess dart. That is the dart that comes from the armhole area. Okay, so we're just going to impute these darts down to the hem of the blouse length, and then draw a straight line to connect it. So I'm connecting my bust span right now. Okay, so before we continue, let's take our neckline. So the width of our neckline, I'm using 3.5 inches, and then the depth of the neckline, I'll be using 7 inches. Okay, I'll be using 7 inches, and then I'll just connect it. That way, and then we'll do a shoulder slope of 1 inch. This for now is just a basic bodice, and then connect it to a neckline. So if you're not familiar with a basic body, we have a detailed tutorial on the channel on how to draft a basic body. All right, so after taking our neck slope, we are going to divide our armhole. Our armhole is 8 inches. Okay, so we are going to divide it. Look for the midpoint. This is 4. Okay, we are going to add 1 to that 4, and make it 5. Okay, and make it 5. All right, so from this 5 right now, and then just hold it down there for now. Okay, on this point where we have this, we are going to come in by 0.75. okay, this 0.75 is to eliminate the bulge around the armhole area. Okay, so we are going to connect. So this is for the front armhole. This here is for the front armhole. So we are going to come to our darts where we have a bust span line and start doing our deduction. Okay, so on the bust, like you already know, on the bust line you don't deduct anything. Okay, so on the under bust we are going to deduct. On this part we'll deduct 2 inches. Okay, on this part, the part facing your direction, you deduct 1 inch. Okay, But before I continue with this, I'd like to make a bit of modification on our bust span line. Okay, so because we are working on a blouse, the IGBO Madam blouse, so you know we use the normal 4.5 as our bust span all the way down. Okay, so on this waistline right now, we are going to be extending it to, instead of 4.5, we are going to be doing a 4.75. So we are adding 0.25 inch to it. So it's two ways. Okay, two ways. It is either you add 1 inch directly on the blouse length, okay, or you add 0.25 on the waist area, which makes it a total of 4.75. And then when you get to the waistline, you make it 5 inches. I don't know if you understand what I just explained. Okay, so it is either you add, I'll take it again, 0.25 on the waistline, 0.25 to your original 4.5 bust span measurement, making it a total of 4.75. And then when you get to the waist, to the blouse length, which is the hip area, you make it 5 inches. That is one option. Or you do your 4.5, 4.5, 4.5, and then when you get to the length of the blouse, you make it 5 inches. Hope you understand. The reason for this is to expand, you know, from the waist area down to the hip area where the blouse is going to stop. You know, there is a tummy around that area. The body is not equal, so you need a bit of space, a bit of inches to, you know, to flay that part out for you a little, which of course is also one of the beauty of the IGBO Madam blouse. So we are just going to quickly make that modification here. Okay, and then we come down here and make it 5 inches. I'm also going to give you another option. So making 3 options. So it's either you do your 0.25 on the waist, 0.5 on the hip line. Okay, those are the addition you're adding to your bust span line. Or you just also add 1 inch direct. So you have your you have your 4.5 up to your waistline. Okay, and then on the hip line, which is also the hem of the blouse, you add 1 whole inch to it, giving you a total of 5.5 inches around this area. It also helps it spread out properly. Hope you understand that. So I am using the option right now. So you choose, I've given you 3 options. The all 3 actually works well. Okay, so I am using the option of, I do my normal 4.5 here, normal 4.5 here, normal 4.5 here. Then on the hip area, which is the length of the blouse, I added 1 inch to it, making a total of 5.5 inches. Hope you understand that. So I'm just going to connect. Okay. Connect it back into our line. Neatly. All right, so this is what we have. So right now we are not going to use this line anymore. So I'll just look for a way to cover this line up so you don't get confused. All right, so I've covered it up so you don't get confused. Hope this works well for you. Okay, so before that, a bit of digression. I just want you to know the various options we have. It's not like as though if you use your straight 4.5, it's not going to work well for you. but so you don't have so much tightness around your tummy area or your clients, is the more reason why you should adapt or adopt this method. I gave you 3 options. Okay, if you're confused about any of the options, please drop your question on the comment section. I'm gonna attend to it, or you chat me up on WhatsApp. My number is always on the screen. So we come to our under bust. Like I said earlier, we deduct 1 from this part, we deduct 2 from this part. Okay, and then we extend the same down here, our waistline, okay, our waistline, and then we'll come up on this length line, this blouse length line. Okay, we are going to come up by 3 inches. Okay, so we are coming up by 3 inches, and then on this 3 inches now we are going to connect this line into this 3 inches, this line here into this 3 inches. Hope you understand. So on our blouse length, we came up by 3 inches. So we are going to connect this 1 inch into this 3 inch, or this 3 inches rather, like this, and come to this 2 inches. We are going to deduct here and also connect it into the 3 inches. That way. Okay, this is actually going to open up our blouse properly around the tummy area, in that you won't have anything to worry about. Okay, and then we'll come to our under bust and connect. So we are connecting this 2 inches into a bust point. Howbeit, you can come down by 0.5 and then connect to avoid pointiness, but if you can do it very neatly, it's fine. These patterns are not new, okay, but if this is your first time, is the more reason why I'm trying to be very, very explicit. Okay, that is it. And then we'll extend this line. Down here. Down here. So basically this is what we have. So we are done with this part. We are going to come up here now to finish up with a princess O. Okay, so if you notice here right now, you will notice that this part is longer than this part. Okay, this part is longer than this part, but before we increase it, we have to deduct. So this is our middle part right now. So 2 things again. Is either we go ahead to deduct at 0.75 from here, 0.75 from here, and connect it into a bust line, a bust point rather. You can also come up by 0.5, or this middle part here, we first of all connect it, so we might be having 3 lines. I'm also giving you another option. Okay, so let's connect it like this so that it's easy for you to understand. Okay, so we have connected right now. So this line right now is going to stand as a guide for you. Like you can also notice our cup is formed already. So we are going to deduct 0.75 from each. 0.75 here, 0.75 here. Okay, so after deducting, let's come up here by 0.5. So we are going to connect this 0.75 into this part and also connect here. So the reason why we also came up by 0.5 on this part is to also avoid or eliminate pointiness. All right, so we are going to do the same here also. You have to be very patient and careful when you are doing all of this. You see, that's what we have. So we are chopping all of this away. Okay, so right now, if you notice, this side has become short. We are in shorts here right now. If we do not do something about it, by the time you are done joining, you are going to be running short of fabric around your armhole area. Okay, so to prevent that, we are going to come up here on this line, the one under this under one. We are going to come up by 1 inch. Okay, so this is a 1 inch here, and then we'll connect it up like this. Okay, so we've extended it. After extending, we are going to form a new armhole curve. So this is a new armhole curve. Okay, please follow this with keen interest. Okay, you can backward it and go over it again. It is very, very explicit. Okay, very, very explicit. It has a lot of information that can actually help. So we are done with this right now. When we are going to cut, we are going to be cutting like this into like this. Okay, this is where you are cutting here into here. We are taking all of this away. Okay, that is it. So right about now, we are going to impute our measurements. So what I do is, for instance, now my bust is 40 inches, okay, divided by 4. Okay, it's 10, right? I just go ahead to add 7 inches to it. That is what I do, because we have to take all of this that we remove into consideration. Okay, so I just go ahead to add either 6 or 7 inches to my measurement. That is what I do. By the time you are done, because when you are done, you know, transferring all of this into your fabric, adding your padding and all of those, you can also go ahead again and reshaping and remove any excess fabric after taking your measurements again. Okay, this is not a finite measurement. All right, that is what I do. So I just go ahead to add 6 or 7 inches, taking all of this that we are going to be removing into consideration and then reshaping when I am done. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm also going to use this to cut my back panel. So that 7 inches or 6 inches really works for me. When I'm done doing all of this together, I'm just going to place it on another pattern paper and use it to trace out my back panel. In that 7 inches, my zipper allowance and other joining allowance on the darts are included, so I am covered. So I'm done inputting my measurements. Okay, you see our curve for our cup. It's really beautiful. I like it. Okay. Excuse me. So I'm done inputting my measurement. So on the hem of this blouse, we are going to come in by about 1 inch and curve so that we give a bit of beauty around that area. Okay. Okay, hope you get at that end part. I curved it in. Okay, so we are done with this pattern drafting. Right about now, I'm just going to go ahead to cut it. Okay, but all right guys, so we are going to go ahead right now to draft back panel of the IGBO Madam blouse. Okay, so I've also rolled out my basic line, just the type you have on the basic bodies. Okay, so this is my neckline. I used, of course, 3.5 for the weight, and then the depth 3 inches. I want it to slope down a little. Then my shoulder slope, my armhole. Okay, these are lines you're familiar with. Okay, so I have my bust point, I have my waistline, and then the hem of the blouse, and then our bust span, which of course is the dart line. Okay, so we're also going to be using the princess darts for this back panel. Okay, but we are not contouring anything. Okay, so like we did for the front panel, I could have used the front panel to cut my back panel, but I want you to understand what you have to understand for the benefits of beginners. Okay, so 8 inches, we are just going to locate the midpoint, which is of course 4, like we did for the front, and then add 1 to 8, making 5. Okay, we are not deducting anything from here, so we are just going to connect this line into this line, into, so we'll come up here by 1 inch. Okay, we don't want any form of pointiness, and then connect this line into it. Okay, make sure you position your ruler very well, and then you connect. That is it. Blend it properly if you think what you have is not properly blended. Okay, and then we'll come up here by 1 so we don't have a shortage. and then you connect. That's just it basically. Okay, so when you are cutting like this, then like this. That is just that for the back panel. And my waistline, this is the waistline, and I will deduct 0.5 inch from both sides. Okay, and then I will connect it here. Okay, and I will do the same for connect it, come up here by 3 inches. Most of what we are doing is what we already done on the front panel. Connect. So that is it basically. Okay, then input your measurements. So I've imputed my measurements. You also go ahead to impute yours. Don't forget to include your zip allowance. Okay, it's just a basic body basically for the back panel. So like I did for the front panel, I'm going to come up here by 1 inches to eliminate that sharp edge there, and then I'm going to connect it. That's just it basically. So, and then basically we are done with our drafting. We are just going to go ahead right now to transfer this panel into our fabric, and then we start sewing. So this is the drafting tutorial. We are also going to do the sewing tutorial. So if I uploaded the drafting tutorial, please watch out for the sewing tutorial. If the videos are not too long, after combining everything, I may upload everything at once in one video. But if I notice that it's extremely long, I may have to break it into 2, upload the drafting first and then the sewing. Hope you understand. Do not forget to subscribe and tap on the bell so you get notifications when these old videos are dropping. So this is the back panel. Please do not forget to notch and label where necessary so you don't get confused. Okay, this is the back panel, and then this is the front panel. Okay, do not forget to label and notch where necessary. It can be really confusing. Okay, all right, so see you in the sewing tutorials. Bye for now.